What's going on, Arizona Sports Fan family? Thank you so very much for tuning back in. I really do appreciate it. And in this video, I wanted to talk about none other than Sheldon Richardson being released by the Cleveland Browns. I honestly do think that this was an attempt to clear up some cap room. Needless to say, he's still available out there. Should the Arizona Cardinals pounce and try to bring in Sheldon Richardson to try to bolster their defensive line? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Guys, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, I want to go ahead and specifically dedicate this video to talk about Sheldon Richardson and do I think the Arizona Cardinals should pounce and try to sign him to a contract to be a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, before we get started, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that the Arizona Cardinals did make some moves. Ended up signing some players. I believe it was like 5 to 6 players on a one-year deal. I don't really know the specifics as to how much the contracts were, but I didn't make a specific video about it just because there's a lot of players that I don't really know too much about. But I will go ahead and post them right here. If you know any of these players in terms of how they play, do you like the signing? Anything like that, do me a big favor and put it in the comments below. I would love to hear your personal opinion on these players. Definitely put everything in the comments below, but those are the latest acquisitions for the Arizona Cardinals. Without further ado, let's go and just jump right into it, guys. Sheldon Richardson was released by the Cleveland Browns. Now, I do think that this was an attempt to clear up some cap room. I believe they saved anywhere between $10 to $11 million moving forward, which is really good for them. I don't know what their plan is and what they're trying to do, but needless to say, Sheldon Richardson is available as a free agent, and I do think the Arizona Cardinals should pounce at the opportunity to get him. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people in the comments saying, a lot of different stuff like, hey, we got J.J. Watt, we have Jordan Phillips, why do we need him? Sheldon Richardson is going to be the guy that's going to be able to stop the runs up the middle. I still do think he's going to be a viable part in the defensive line. Now, if we don't get him, we don't get him. I don't think it's something to scream over the top of the hills to say, we need to get him. It's not that big of a deal. But I do think that the Cardinals should really consider to bring him into the Cardinals and work him out and see what he can do, especially for, stopping the run game. Currently, right now, Sheldon Richardson is 30 years old. He was drafted by the New York Jets back in 2013. He's been with about like 3 or 4 different teams in the NFL. So he was just released by the Browns, and I do think the Cardinals should, take advantage of the opportunity and maybe sign him on a really, really cheap deal. If we can possibly sign Sheldon Richardson to a really cheap deal and not make him, that number one, but maybe use him more as a depth player, because let's be honest, the 2020 season, we had a lot of injuries on our defensive line, which is really scary, especially because we were rolling with, Angelo Blackson and Jonathan Bullard, which was really cool. They worked out for what they could work out, but I don't know. I do think Sheldon Richardson can be a very, very good asset for this Arizona Cardinals at the right price. Now, would he accept that? I don't know. I don't know the guy personally, but if he still wants to play football, I really still do think that he can be a viable asset to our defensive line, especially stopping the runs up the middle. Now, if you take a look at his stats for, his entirety of his career, nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, especially this last season. I think he had like 3.5 to 4.5 sacks playing with the Browns, but I think he's mainly more used for, stopping the run more than anything. He's not going to be a guy that's going to give you the 8 to 9 sacks, especially this point into his career. He's not going to give you that production, so I still think that we can get him on a cheap deal. Now, one of the downfalls, if we do end up getting Sheldon Richardson, is going to be we're probably not going to see either, Licky Fotu, or we're not going to see Rashad Lawrence. Now, I was very, very excited about getting Licky Fotu and Rashad Lawrence coming into the 2020 season. I think Licky Fotu has a little bit more of an edge, a little bit more of a leg up over Rashad Lawrence. If they do battle it out in training camp, I think Licky Fotu will win that battle between the position in terms of starters goes. So the only downfall if we do sign them is we probably won't see them, or they won't get their opportunity, which will definitely be unfortunate because I really want to see what Licky Fotu can do in the NFL. To be honest here, it probably will not happen, but we can see what they can do here. So we can start seeing Licky Fotu, we can start seeing Rashad Lawrence and have them battle it out for that interior defensive lineman position. Somebody that's going to be able to stop the runs up the middle. I know Licky Fotu was dynamite when it came down to that in college. Now, I get it. College is different than, the NFL level, so we got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But I know this last offseason, we ended up getting J.J. Watt, and we got Jordan Phillips last year. But last year, Jordan Phillips was hurt for a good part of the 2020 season, which is very concerning to me. And I just want to make sure that we have some depth moving forward, because defensive line and offensive line are very, very, you can get hurt. Because it's in the trenches. You're pretty much in the trenches a lot. If it's not like your upper body, then you're dealing with your ankle or something in your leg. So it's it's a hard position to stay healthy for a good amount of time. So that's really one of my main concerns here is J.J. Watt and Jordan Phillips moving forward, because they did have that injury history. I would love to see Sheldon Richardson in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. More for depth, more than anything, but I do think he can be a viable asset for the Arizona Cardinals in the 2021 season moving forward. But let me know what you guys think here. Is there anybody out there that would like this acquisition for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward? Definitely put everything in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. Thank you so very much for watching, and I am out. Thank you.